You know, growing up back then was different. Not harder, not easier, just different. Your name meant something, and if you slipped, even just once, the whole neighborhood seemed to know. I remember a day from my childhood that stayed with me my entire life. I misplaced some money my mother had given me. Not much by today's standards, but back then, oh, it mattered. It was grocery money. It was responsibility. It was trust. The moment I realized it was gone, my heart sank. I searched the house from corner to corner, checked behind the sofa, shook up my coat pockets, lifted the cushions. You ever have one of those moments as a kid where you knew you messed up and there was no hiding from it? That was me. My mother didn't yell. She didn't raise her voice. She just sat down at the kitchen table, folded her hands, and looked at me with this quiet disappointment, the kind that speaks louder than shouting ever could. And she said, "I trusted you with this. That's what hurts." Back then, neighbors paid attention. People noticed. If a child made a mistake, it wasn't just their mistake, it reflected on the whole family. I remember walking down our street later that day, the way Mrs. Edwards next door gave me that sympathetic but knowing look like she'd already heard. And honestly, she probably had. It wasn't gossip, not really. It was the way communities worked. People cared, and they expected you to grow into someone they could respect. So I did what a lot of kids did in those days. I worked to make it right. I shoveled my aunt's driveway, helped tidy up her porch, even ran a few errands for neighbors. Little things, but they added up. Every dime I earned, I saved it. When I finally placed that money back in my mother's hand, she didn't count it. She just gave me this soft smile and said, "That's my girl." And let me tell you, that moment stayed with me. Sometimes I think about how much that one tiny mistake shaped me, not because of the money, but because of what it taught me about responsibility, trust, and family. Maybe you grew up the same way, where one wrong step didn't define you, but how you fixed it absolutely did. Life back then wasn't perfect, but it had a way of shaping us into people who understood the value of a good name.